Patrick McNeil joined out at the intermission by St. John Sea Dogs General Manager Trevor Georgie. Trevor, how challenging and different has your regular job been in 2020?
It's been different for everybody, not just my job, but all of the team here. Just being vigilant in regards to all the COVID requirements. And although we're opponents on the ice, I certainly feel for our Quebec counterparts and for Moncton the last 2 weeks. We've all done the same amount of the heavy lifting, but here we are with the great privilege of playing, and there they are not playing. It does look different, but it's junior hockey. We're used to wearing many hats. We're just really thankful that we get to play hockey in front of a live audience.
One of the big stories in St. John this year is a new guy behind the bench, Greg Gilbert. Tell us about the hire of him.
It was an extensive process looking at different options and looking at what we believe the team needed. Greg has one of the few coaches that has coached in the NHL, coached in the American League, coached in the OHL. He was an OHL Coach of the Year, an AHL Coach of the Year. He won 3 Stanley Cups as a player. I really enjoyed my conversations, and I know that our group really enjoyed their conversations with Greg throughout the process. A person that's very easy to talk to, black and white, and good to work with. I know I could tell because he had a few years of sabbatical working in media. You could hear through the phone the hunger and passion that he had to get behind the bed.
I look at Greg Gilbert's teams, looked like in Saginaw, maybe geared more towards the offensive side of the game. Do you think he is the right coach to tighten up the structure in St. John?
I do. We wouldn't have hired him if we didn't believe so. He's been working tirelessly with our coaching staff to implement systems and establish a style of play that will be indicative, hopefully, of the Sea Dogs and be reflective of the players that we have that are talented but committing to playing a certain way. It takes time. It takes holding players viciously accountable. It takes vicious accountability. It's tedious, exhausting for all of us on the hockey ops side, from the coaching side, the training staff side, but we need to hold our players viciously accountable to play a certain way. That should clear up our defensive deficiencies that have haunted us the past 2 seasons.
You think this team can contend over a number of years, including this one, although who knows what playoffs will look like. Have you gotten a sense of what the market will look like for a team that wants to buy?
Although our core is a bit older, we're the same age on average as last season, 17.8. We only have, I think we have the lowest amount of 19 and 20-year-olds in the lineup of any team in the league. We have 5. We can be competitive for multiple seasons, not just one. We want to take a step forward this season, absolutely, but not at sacrificing the health of the team over the next so many years. The market, it changes every day as different announcements come out positively or negatively. The one thing that we expect to be is patient. If you have teams that may not start back up or may not start back up as quickly, you don't wish that upon anyone. But if that's the reality, then you might actually have a plethora of teams. They might be forced to move players and recuperate assets for next season, or if the season's going to be shortened, or if there's any markets that are particularly challenged to start back up. But if that, in fact, becomes a reality, that could create a kind of an imbalanced marketplace where you have a large number of teams, some who are thinking to contend this season, looking to offload players. Week to week, not one week looks the same.
The Sea Dogs have had a lot of success luring players that look like they were bound for the NCAA, and you get a couple of those guys come in this year, Peter Reynolds and Cameron McDonald. How important are those guys to the team?
I know the work that our team and myself have put in behind the scenes to work with these players and their families and their agents, and to build relationships and build rapport and communicate the vision of what the player's signing up for. It takes time. For all the announcements of Peter Reynolds and Cam McDonald and other players that have decided to join the Sea Dogs and forgo NCAA options, there's a longer list of players that have told us no. We're supportive of players whether they pick us or not. We have great relationships with a lot of players that I've never put on the Sea Dogs sweater, but still obviously wish success to. Peter and Cam are important parts of this team. We saw the central scouting list earlier this week that came out. Peter already, I think he's got 4 points. He's finding his pace. It's a different level, obviously, coming from the BCHL to here. Cam, he had a bit of a setback with an injury on the weekend, but he plays physical, in your face. He's been counted on to play a checking role in his first 5 games in the league. Peter and Cam have been great fits. Plans don't always work out. We're really thankful to them and their families for taking that chance with us. And
I wanted to ask about the goaltending situation in St. John, a bit of a unique carousel trying to find a 20-year-old goaltender, and Creed Jones ends up being the guy. Walk us through that process.
First, we like Noah Patno quite a bit. He's had a great start to the season. We brought him over from Switzerland, and a dual citizen. He was able to come in as a non-import, but he's ranked among the top goalies in this country. So that's pretty rare that you get a player like that without giving a cost. I had a wonderful conversation with Noah in the summer, and he said, I want to share with you that the organization does so much for us, and it's not like that everywhere. And to show my gratitude to the organization and to you and to Mr. McCain, I want to show you that how committed I am. And he transformed his body completely. So we're really, really proud of Noah. With Creed, we had narrowed down a few goaltenders that we thought would be available. He had a really great second half of the season on a much improved Rimouski team over a rebuilding Gatineau team. We really liked what we saw in his time in Rimouski. We're really curious to see how his playoffs were going to go. We're excited to see who would kind of grab hold of the net at certain times with him and Ellis pushing each other. We looked at Creed as a goalie that has been in a platoon scenario before as well. Could challenge and push and support Noah. More of a 1A, 1B to push each other, and he seemed like a great fit.
Great insight, Trevor. Thanks for this. Best of luck this season.
Thanks so much. All the best to you.
That's Trevor Georgie, General Manager of the St. John Sea Dogs, joining us at the intermission. You're listening to McDonald Auto Hub, Cape Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB.